What you went through was an attack on the very essence of your humanity, not merely cruelty. It went beyond manipulating emotions or causing physical pain. The real goal was to deprive you of your humanity, to make you feel inferior, and to cut off your ties to the outside world. They intended to destroy you until just a hollow shell of your former self was left. Hurting you wasn't enough. This is what elevates such behaviors above simple acts of abuse or violence. Real cruelty aims to eradicate rather than just inflict suffering. They sought to steal your identity, not simply your happiness or self-assurance. They wanted you to lose sight of who you were, to cut off your bravery, to wonder if you were worthy of being alive at all. It was in the manner in which they dismissed your suffering as unimportant, rendered you feel invisible, and reduced your life to a throwaway object. This type of dehumanization creeps into your thoughts over time. You start to perceive yourself as they intended, insignificant, helpless, and unworthy. This is the reality, nevertheless, that they never comprehended. Dehumanization can only be successful if you let it happen. They didn't realize how strong the human spirit, your spirit, is. Yes, they temporarily took away your love, comfort, and maybe even your hope, but they were never able to completely take away what makes you unique. It is difficult and takes time to emerge from this darkness. However, every action you do to regain your humanity is a protest against their brutality. You are a live example of how even the most desperate attempts to destroy someone may fall short. They attempted to destroy you, yet you remain, and that is more potent than they could have ever thought. Even for those who made every effort to shatter you, there is something about your fortitude that defies reason. They thought they had triumphed. They believed their efforts had broken you beyond redemption and believed they had reduced you to nothing. They thought you would fall beneath the weight of everything they hurled at you, including seclusion, manipulation, and unrelenting brutality. And perhaps you did for a while. Perhaps you had self-doubt. Perhaps you dropped farther than you ever imagined. Perhaps you felt as though you couldn't possibly get up from the weight of what they had done. But you got back up in spite of everything. They are frightened by that. Not only did you make it through, but you also refused to remain broken. They don't have that type of strength themselves, therefore they can't understand it. Those that want to ruin other people do it out of weakness and fear. They try to break you in order to feel powerful by projecting their own fears onto you. However, when you emerge stronger, smarter, and more resolute than before, they are compelled to face their own frailty, which they have avoided their entire lives. Since they know they wouldn't have made it through the same ordeal, they are unable to comprehend how you are still alive. And for that, they are angry with you. They despise you not for anything you did, but rather because your fortitude reveals the reality they are unable to accept. Since your failure would have validated their own shortcomings, they wanted to see you fail. Rather, you turned into a mirror that reflected back the aspects of themselves that they would want to overlook. The more you put up with it, the more terrified they get. They will make an effort to minimize your battle by saying that you were fortunate or that it was unjust that you survived, but they know the truth in their hearts. They didn't take you seriously. They created the setting for your greatest comeback, but they didn't actually write your conclusion. And when an abuser realizes they never had control over you, nothing scares them more. Being selected implies that you mirror the world rather than merely existing in it. You turn into a mirror for others around you, reflecting their flaws, their strengths, and the secrets they would want to hide. People become uneasy just by being around you because it makes them face things they would like to ignore. This is just who you are. It's not anything you do on purpose. However, that thought is intolerable to many. They see everything they are not when they look at you, not just you. Their complacency is highlighted by your strength. Their fear is shown by your bravery. They are forced to face their own shortcomings because of your tenacity. And for those who are unwilling to confront their darkness, it is simpler to place the blame on you than to confront their own shortcomings. This explains why the selected frequently encounter animosity. It was always more about what you stood for than it was about you. Because it is safer than looking within, they project their frustrations, anger, and fears upon you. They can avoid answering the awkward inquiries about their own life if they can persuade themselves that you are the issue. The harsh reality is that being a mirror is isolating. You stand out because of the very thing that makes you unique. Because of the facts you expose, not because of anything you have done, people will condemn, dislike, and even despise you. Nevertheless, this is a component of your assigned function. You shouldn't hide your brightness just because it causes discomfort for other people. Even if individuals don't want to see, the world still needs mirrors. And there will be someone who finds inspiration in you for every individual who rejects what they perceive in you. Someone will find the courage to confront their own darkness after reading about your experience. That's what getting selected really means. And it is their greatest dread. They made an effort to keep you apart and to persuade you that you weren't deserving of respect, love, or even your own tale. In addition to producing pain, true cruelty involves attempting to destroy the essence of the victim, and they attempted to do it to you, make you unimportant, inconsequential, and invisible. They never realized, however, that you are far more than the suffering they attempted to inflict. They thought they could make you into nothing, but they didn't realize how strong your spirit was. Yes, there were times when you thought there was nothing left to hope for, when everything seemed to be engulfed by the gloom. The fact is, though, that something inside of you resisted even during those times. A tiny, nearly undetectable spark that cannot be extinguished. And until you discovered your way back to yourself, that spark continued to grow and get stronger. Reconstruction is neither a linear or fast process. On certain days, uncertainty reappears and the ghosts of the past want to drag you back to a time of suffering and quiet. However, every stride you take ahead is a testament to your strength. Every decision you make to go on is a show of defiance against those who wish to see you fail. Their very presence is evidence that they failed, even if they may have believed they had won. Since you're present, since you wouldn't go away, they are haunted by that. Their dread stems from what you stand for, not from you. They are forced to face their own shortcomings by their power. Their ability to bounce back is like a mirror reflecting everything they can't be. And that's the biggest victory of all. They attempted to destroy you, but all they succeeded in doing was strengthening you. You now proceed. As a survivor, not as a victim. As a living example of how light always manages to shine through the darkest of evenings. And there is much more to this tale. Your journey is only getting started, and every new chapter you write confirms the things they attempted to take away from you. Your strength, your unbreakability, and your sense of worth. You will come across people who have had comparable injuries along the road. Some people won't be able to see a way out of their agony. Others will have resisted in their own ways. And you come to see that you were never really alone. You start to realize that the impact of your narrative is far more than you initially thought. Another individual finds hope each time you share your story. For others who are still in the dark, your voice becomes a lighthouse. And that's how you transform suffering into meaning. This was unexpected by those who attempted to ruin you. They had no idea that you would become so strong that you would serve as a support system for others. They attempted to quiet you, but paradoxically, you discovered your voice because of that suffering. You now realize that you don't have to merely survive. You may live life to the fullest, set an example of resiliency, and change the course of your own history. For you are so much more than the pain they attempted to inflict upon you. Furthermore, they will never be able to change this fact. Every day presents a fresh chance to start again, find happiness, and rebuild your life. Give yourself permission to feel again, have faith in your own abilities, and design a future that is genuinely yours. You deserve a tale that you write for yourself, free from the constraints of the past. Life is an ongoing process of regeneration, and you are strong enough to prosper because you were strong enough to survive.